Welcome everybody to another edition of the Hurry Up. I'm your host Adam. Let's get into this. So, since we last talked, a lot has happened in Giantland, from firing of the special teams coordinators, a couple of linebackers coaches, and the missing person report on Wink Martindale. He's not really missing, but you know what I'm saying. He's not there. Not a good look on anybody's side. I don't care if you like Dable, Wink. It's a messy situation. Joe Shane has a press conference at 8:30 in the morning. He came out and said, we made some mistakes. We over-evaluated our team, and here we are. Look, people, you're not going to like this answer from me, but the Giants are taking a quarterback in the draft. Whether it's going to be a day, a first 2-day problem, meaning first day or second day they're taking a quarterback. There's going to be somebody in here. They cannot save their jobs. The reason why this is different than, let's say, the Chargers is the Chargers know they got their guy. There's $200 million they locked into him. Daniel Jones locked in for this season and this season only, coming up in 2024. So you're allowed to now punt. And I would love to get a guy in here for some competition, but also for some development. If you think Brian Dable's the guy, and I think as a coach he might be a decent coach amongst the players, and players seem to like him, it's time for him to get his guy. And people can argue, well, they got their guy $140 million. No. They signed a guy because they went to the playoffs and they had no choice. They were hamstrung in terms of signing this guy. Would they have, if they had continued like I had suggested and did not sign this guy and gave the franchise tag, it would be a different story. The Barkley situation, that would help too. They would have signed Barkley, franchise Daniel would have been over. Barkley is to blame on some of this, the reason why you kept Daniel Jones. Because you wanted your value, you didn't get your value. This year, I don't think they're going to get the money that they deserve. I think he wants a Jonathan Taylor deal. I do agree Barkley is a good player for this team. He is a staple of this team, and if you bring him back here, what are we winning? The Giants right now, here's the scenario, folks. Think about this. Giants go into next season with Daniel Jones, no quarterback on the roster, Tommy DeVito, Jacob Eason, whatever. Let's say Tyrod Taylor. To me, Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter if you bring him back, period. End of story. He's played better than Daniel. He gives you the best chance to win. Don't go out there and say, well, he's going to be our starter week one. That's bullshit. If Tyrod Taylor is brought back here, he is better than Daniel Jones, clearly. Okay? I don't believe in that. My eyes tell me Daniel Jones is not good. Not my heart, my eyes. I'm not trying to get rid of Daniel Jones because I don't like the guy. I'm trying to get rid of Daniel Jones because I want to win championships. Daniel Jones ain't going to bring that to me. The defense is good, but we have 26 people coming off contracts. 26. We have $25 million. If you were to give every one of those guys $1 million, your cap space will be eaten up. There's going to be a lot of change and turnover in this team. What Joe Shane said was he made mistakes. Those mistakes need to be rectified. And it starts with getting a quarterback because that tells you that there's a true rebuild happening. This team needs to be torn down and rebuilt the right way. And Brian Dable should be the guy going forward to help build this team. Because he came in there and they didn't want to lose. They wanted to establish a winning culture. You went out and you beat the Titans. And that put them in a downward spiral for 2 seasons. They didn't make the playoffs 2 years. They fired their coach finally. This is going to get messy. The Cowboys are a good team. If they end up winning or getting Mike Vrabel as their coach or whomever, their talent is still going to be good. They're still going to make some moves. They've got guys here for a while. The Eagles, as much as we beat them on Sunday and kick their butts, they're going to be good. And the Washington Commanders are going to finally get a franchise moving piece. Do we want to sit there and it'd be Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, and Daniel Jones? Does that move the needle for anybody? I know people want continuity, and I don't, this is not me saying don't go out and get a Dunze. What it is go out and get a quarterback. Whoever that quarterback is whoever those quarterbacks are that you identify that are going to be game changers, go out and get them. If you think Cam Ward's going to be that guy and you don't think that he's going to make it to the second round or you're going to have a lot of touting, then trade down, get picks to get more assets to get up and get him. Because I think people are so worried about, we're going to give up assets. Oh my God, what are we going to do? You can acquire more picks. You can trade players. You can move up and down draft boards. This is not the end of the world here, folks. We think that if we trade up to get a quarterback that, oh my God, it's doom and gloom. No, you trade up to get, did the Giants not go to the playoffs in 2005 when they drafted and gave up draft capital for Eli Manning? Like, what are we doing here? Their team wasn't hurt. They kept building. They signed free agents. They got more draft picks. In 2005, they got Corey Webster and Justin Tuck as their first 2 picks. And then in 2006, they traded down with Pittsburgh, who won the Super Bowl that year, to 32 and picked up Matthias Kiwanuka. And they went to the playoffs again and lost to the Eagles. They still had Tiki Barber and guys like that established. It's time to move on. If Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll want to be here, because I believe one of them either will be gone or they both will be gone. I think they should both be gone if they're fired and just clean house and say, you know what, we're going to do it from the ground up again. Because that's what you're supposed to do when you clean house. And when you fire and get new coaches and regimes, you're supposed to look at teams and not say, well, we're going to inherit him and do this. Regardless of what you did. You need to come in and do it. Because if you happen, I don't think the Giants are winning more than 8 games next year at best. The schedule is still tough. They're going to be looked at, and these teams that we think are, and we're going to circle on there, the Bears and whomever, Vikings, whoever the case may be, right, are going to get better next year. So are the Giants. But the Giants need to have the mindset of not rebuilding, not competing and rebuilding at the same time. Just rebuild. Say, hey, listen, we're going to punt 2024. And we're looking to 2025 to be good. It's the same what they did in 2004 when they were the 4th pick of the draft. Everyone said, get Robert Gallery. You have Kerry Collins. Don't worry about this. Do that. Do this. Do that. They went up and they got their guy. Go do that. It changed the franchise. For 15 years, we were in the playoffs. We were excited that Eli Manning was here. I want that again. I'm tired of rolling out Daniel Jones and hoping that his neck is going to hold up. He's had 2 major neck injuries. They even said one more and he's gone. He could still play now, but we're cautiously optimistic that he'll make it. If he gets a 3rd neck injury, who's gonna do that? And trust me, a neck injury by far is probably more likely to happen than a knee injury. Because the neck, and he's been injured his entire football career in Duke and whatever. A neck injury is going to force him to retire early. And if you have nobody on the roster, the thing is this: don't think of 2024. Think of this move with the quarterback for 2025 and beyond. I think a lot of people are caught up in their feelings about 2024 and what's going to happen. This is not about 2024. This is about 2025. The fact that we lost and are 6-11 and a bad team has already punted the 2024 season as if people are just going to be happy to make the wild card. Not me. If you bring back Daniel Jones, he's your week 1 starter, and there's no quarterback behind him, you're trying to compete for a championship. End all, be all, that's it. If you are punting the season and saying we grossly overvalued what was coming into this year, then you need to rebuild the right way and say, look, this is what we're going to do. Be patient. They don't want to do that because the Giants are too worried about what it looks like. That's what they're worried about. John Mara is too busy worried about what it looks like and selling seats and getting a competitive product out there that if it's a shitty product, people are going to show up. I'm tired of losing. But if you go out and you get a Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, those kind of guys, even a Michael Penix, Bo Nix, Cam Ward, whatever, anybody not named Daniel Jones works for me. That's in the top. I don't want Spencer Rattler. Now, he might move up boards. The need for quarterbacks is great. And this quarterback draft has at least 8 guys that could be starters in the league. They have at least, I believe, 5 guys that we might be seeing for a long time down the road. Now, every situation is different. Everything is pending, right? People are like, oh, Desmond Ridder stinks. Yeah, the guy was a 3rd-round pick. There's no reason to worry about that guy. That's why they can move off from him. If he's a 1st-round pick, they're probably not. He's probably getting a 3rd year. Justin Fields, he's a 1st-round pick with immense talent. What are you going to do with that guy? And someone told me, oh, you're going to get a 2nd-round pick for him. Who's giving you a 2nd-round pick? Who is? Trey Lance got a 4th-round pick, and that was lucky, and he went to the Cowboys. There's no way I believe that Justin Fields is netting you anything better than a 3rd. And it's got to be to a team like Atlanta or a team like that's willing to put in the work with him. That is you put in Justin Fields, and that quarterback situation is elevated. That team is elevated. You've got Bijan Robinson. You got a good defense, a solid offensive line. You got Drake London, Kyle Pitts. To me, that's the team that would to me acquire Justin Fields, because then they can go out with their top 10 pick and say to the world, hey, look, we're going to go and get this top 10 pick, or wherever they pick in the draft. I think it's top 10, might not be, but wherever their pick is, now they can go get Romeo Odunze, right? Maybe they want Joe Alt. Maybe they decide to go out and shore up their team because now they have a quarterback under contract for the next couple of years, and it's not going to cost them much. They go out and make those moves. If I'm Atlanta, maybe I'm calling on Mike Vrabel and saying, hey, do you want this job? Because he's going to be a hot commodity. Everybody's, I think, waiting for John Harbaugh to make his decision, but it's out there. The Giants need to do this. They need to get a quarterback in here now. Don't wait till 2025. There's no guarantee in 2025 you're going to be up the number one pick. So then we have the same story again. And then people are going to be like, well, might as well keep Daniel for another year. Might as well keep Daniel for another year. And we're 7 years in, still mediocre, still spinning our wheels while Washington's getting to the playoffs and the Cowboys are threatening for Super Bowls and the Eagles are. We're sitting here spinning our wheels. Why? Because we want to keep a guy who's done nothing in the NFL, who has won one playoff game that we praise that it is won. I mean, Dak Prescott's won a playoff game, but people shit on that guy every week. Yet the guy throws for 30 touchdowns like it's nothing. But again, it's his team. How come every time a quarterback does something well, we say that it's his team and his weapons? Every time Daniel Jones fucks up, we blame everything else but the quarterback. It's funny how that works. When we're losing, we blame everything else but the quarterback. When other teams are winning, they blame everybody else. They give the credit to everybody else but the quarterback. Kind of interesting way of thinking of it. Anyways, this is the Hurry Up. I'm your host, Adam. You can see me on Premium Takes with the guys at 9 o'clock on Friday nights. 5:30, usually NFC's Real Deal Roundup. We're going to go over all of it, talk about all this stuff. But catch us today at 4:30, special time. Due to some scheduling conflicts, we're going to go up early. Come in, tune in. Me and Mac are going to have at it. But I'll see you when I see you. Have a good day.